Hay is forage that is cut and dried to use as livestock fodder. It can be grass, a legume forage, or both grass and legume mixed together. In both tropical and subtropical Africa, haymaking is the quickest and most advisable way to conserve forage on smallholder farms. Why? It's because it requires little machinery or equipment and also sunny weather conditions which make it easy to make hay. Our goal during the haymaking process is to capture nutrients in the dried herbage in as near a form to the original herbage as possible, and to supply the nutrients to livestock during periods of special need or scarcity, such as during the dry season. The main parameter to focus on during the haymaking process is to reduce moisture content of the herbage to below 20% within 48 hours. This helps to suppress plant metabolic processes and the growth of fungus and bacteria which can cause decay. Forage must be harvested at the right stage of growth. It must be harvested when the plants are in flower, what we call normally the booting stage. This is when both herbage yield and nutrient content are high. At booting stage, the plants usually contain high concentrations of starches, proteins, and minerals which are required for animal production. Beyond the booting stage, plants become fibrous due to high lignin content. High lignification makes the plants have and the nutrients less available during digestion by the animal. Then there are the environmental factors to be considered when making hay. Farmers normally require 3 to 4 days of hot sunny weather conditions. The farmer must use reliable weather forecasts or his or her own experience to predict good weather conditions. The farmer can find good weather forecasts on radio, TV, or in the newspaper. Rainfall will normally damage herbage which is intended for making hay by leaching out valuable nutrients and also reactivating plant metabolic processes which disturb or slow down the process of making hay. Other factors to be considered when making hay are: where machinery is to be used for making hay, it is important to ensure that equipment is in good working order long before harvesting begins. Once a farmer mows a standing crop, the plants fall to the ground where they continue with life, even though they will be losing moisture to the atmosphere. The plant will lose moisture through the leaves and the stems. It is important to note that the plant does not immediately die after cutting. It dies when it has lost moisture to the extent that it is no longer capable to perform life-giving processes. It is best to cut forage during mid-morning when dew has evaporated and atmospheric temperature has increased. As already explained, moisture loss is fastest in the first hour of cutting. Afterwards, the rate of moisture loss decreases. The following graph shows a general picture of the changes in the drying rate of herbage that has been cut and left to dry under direct sunlight. The example uses information from mature lab peparias, which dries at a very slow rate. Now let's discuss the kind of equipment that is needed to mow or to cut hay. A smallholder farmer in the communal area who is not well resourced might want to use simple handheld equipment like a sickle or a slash. A sickle is very affordable. It can cost about $3 per piece. Where a farmer wants to be more sophisticated, he can opt to buy a brush cutter which is motorized. This one will help the farmer to cover a bigger area in a shorter time. Brush cutters will normally cost between $100 to about $700 depending on whether it is for domestic use or for industrial use. Where a farmer wants to be even more sophisticated, like in the case of farmers wanting to go large scale into commercial farming, they can use tractor drone equipment such as a disc mower. This kind of equipment might even go up to $4,000 or even more in terms of cost. So depending on the sophistication, the resource endowment, land area, the farmer might decide which equipment is ideal for his conditions.